in the west. A little bit of a ridge across the east, so still quite seasonally mild temperatures there. So still dealing with the winds and rain today in the maritime provinces into Newfoundland and Labrador. Tomorrow the winds start to ease, just widely unsettled as far as precipitation goes. Southern Ontario, we could see a few evening showers along the warm frontal boundary associated with the next low pressure system. This is the one that we just talked about, bringing the snow to southeastern Saskatchewan, the Yellowhead stretch in Manitoba, especially around Minnedosa. You could see as much as 10 centimeters of snow. Snowfall for northwestern Ontario later on in the day. Look at that ridge starting to build into BC, but still quite wet and quite windy. Those low pressure systems continue to get going south of that Alaskan panhandle, ridging across the prairies by Wednesday, so warming up as well. Placed by Environment Canada. These ones have been in for a while. They're the Le Sweat and Wreckhouse winds gusting upwards of 110 kilometers per hour throughout this afternoon. Keep in mind, if you're traveling the Trans-Canada stretch this morning, you could run into some freezing drizzle or even freezing rain. Heavier rain will be picking up to the south of Newfoundland throughout the day today. It's already what you're seeing along a cold frontal boundary in New Brunswick. Watch out for wet weather in Moncton this morning. You're going to need your umbrella, but hey, at least it's not your shovels. That's what you'll need in Labrador City as well as Goose Bay, in towards northern central Quebec, where blowing snow with the winds will also be an issue. This is the very same low pressure system that brought 32 centimeters of snow to Kapuskasing throughout the day yesterday and is still bringing snow and blowing snow to extreme northern Ontario. Now to the south, not a whole lot of precipitation, a few scattered showers along the St. Lawrence Seaway, but for the most part, winds abating also across southern Ontario as well. Now throughout this afternoon across the west, quite calm, quite clear, especially in Alberta, but also quite cold. Now we're still cool across British Columbia with showers, say Port Hardy, Bella Coola, some snow up towards Terrace. Breaking this morning down, back to the east, we do have the risk of seeing some non-severe thunderstorms anywhere from Halifax up towards Sydney. That's because you're in the warm sector of this low pressure system. So once the showers from New Brunswick clear out throughout this morning, you'll be giving way to mostly cloudy periods through this afternoon with even some sun and mild temperatures holding on. Up to around 14 degrees in Charlottetown this afternoon. But again, winds will continue to gust strong, especially through the Le Sweat and Wreckhouse areas. But generally speaking, along coastal sections of the Maritimes and Newfoundland, it will be quite gusty, upwards of 70+ kilometers per hour right throughout this evening. Winds really start to abate through the day tomorrow, improving conditions generally speaking throughout. Stay tuned. We have your long-range forecast coming up. Ontario, of course, in the wake of all of those winds yesterday, it was so windy, and I know a lot of people will have a lot of braking to do today as well. Now, across the Maritimes into Newfoundland, today is your windy day. Very same low pressure system, very same cold frontal boundary, also bringing some pretty significant rain to especially southern Newfoundland. The Le Sweat, the Wreckhouse wind warnings in effect, though the winds will start tapering off through the overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Now, one other thing I want to point out for tonight is this low pressure system getting developed south of the border. Looks like the snow will pick up through the overnight period in southern Saskatchewan, so that means tomorrow morning your drive will likely be not so great. The snow will continue right across Manitoba. Yellowhead, the escarpment, you'll likely see as much as even 10, 15, 20 centimeters of snow, but say Red River Valley and east, you'll likely be seeing this mostly as rain, and that's also true for northwestern Ontario. In the wake of the system, the winds will be coming in from the northwest, so though snow will be tapering off in Saskatchewan as the afternoon moves on, the winds will be blowing all that snow around, so expect reduced visibility, Trans-Canada, Yellowhead, right across the eastern prairies through the day on Tuesday. So this is a storm system that we're watching quite closely. Alberta, you'll be cold. Once again, no big surprise. You've got your hats and your mitts, I'm sure, on standby for good now. We've got rain and, again, winds for the coastal sections of BC, but your snow levels will start to rise once again as we start to see this ridge in the jet stream continue to push toward the east as this week moves on. But that doesn't mean you won't be seeing snow in the higher elevations, rain up and down the coast, and look at the winds coming in. So we're clearing out on Wednesday across the prairie provinces, but that low pressure system continues to track across Ontario, causing basically a repeat of what we saw on Sunday. Very strong cold front associated with it, snow on the backside and to the north, rain along the cold frontal boundary and to the east. From Ontario, that system heads into the maritime provinces and Newfoundland, so we're going to see a succession of storm systems really, no matter where you are across this country during the week, and that means you should keep us tuned in. I'm just going to point out, generally speaking, what we're watching through the overnight. Still some rain and winds for the BC coast. There's the developing low pressure system to the south of the eastern prairies. And again, the winds still going throughout the overnight period, but really start to abate by tomorrow. Tomorrow, though, still widely unsettled across Newfoundland. The Maritime's cooler with those northwesterly winds coming in. Along the warm frontal boundary, evening showers possible in southern Ontario, but for the most part, not a bad day. You can get outside and rake some of those leaves that have come down. The snow, again, rain east of the Red River Valley, escarpment to the west, likely to see some pretty significant snowfall amounts. Still rainy and windy for BC. Reduced visibility, the rain is coming down, the winds are starting to get going in that area. From what I can ascertain, Summerside PEI as much as 56 kilometers per hour, less or so on the New Brunswick side of things. But throughout the day today, we have this wind warning in effect for the Wreck House, Les Sweats, gusting from the southeast upwards of 110 kilometers per hour. Winds across the St. Lawrence could bring about even some freezing drizzle for western Newfoundland this morning, but throughout the day today, mostly just rain. In fact, as much as 40 millimeters could come down right around there. So watch for some delays along the ferry to Port aux Basques, where the rain will also be picking up any time now. See this cold frontal boundary pushing quite quickly across New Brunswick, rain picking up in Prince Edward Island, and even the possibility of some non-severe thunderstorms from Halifax and north. But at least it's not the snow. You're seeing it in Labrador, Quebec, as well as north.
Vacationer?